I just wanted to shout out Piers Morgan because of the job he did in the interview.
Did he just cut it off as soon as it started?
No, it was about a 2-hour interview, and he played back all the homeboys' clips for him in case he misspoke.
Don't you have Mark Lamont Hill there, who advocates men competing in women's sports and children being able to transition? That's why I say I won't be told who to platform from people like that. There is nothing out there more radical than the current agenda of the progressive left.
Mark Lamont Hill and
you're smart, man.
Not former Vice President Joe Biden, but Joe Budden.
Mark Lamont Hill.
Joe Budden and Mark Lamont Hill were talking about the Piers Nick interview, and
let me guess.
For us to go
let me guess. Mark Lamont Hill.
Yeah.
Let me guess.
Yeah.
He said the N-word.
Racist.
Really weird.
Racist. Can't believe platforming someone.
He is an idiot.
I don't know.
Lamont.
Am I mentioned?
Lamont.
It's a 4-minute clip.
Am I mentioned for Mark Lamont Hill? Because I said
We'll
the
see.
N-word like 5 times in front of him.
4-minute clip. Let's pause it and go through
Okay.
it.
All right.
Well, I just wanted to shout out Piers Morgan because of the job he did in the interview.
Did he just cut it off as soon as it started?
No, it was about a 2-hour interview, and he played back all the homeboys' clips for him in case he misspoke.
Pause. Wonder where he got that idea.
I don't think I've ever seen Piers.
Morgan doesn't do that. He doesn't do 2-hour live interviews playing clips. Now, the difference between me and Piers is he was using the leftist talking points as the jumping off point. He played the 8-second clips. Mine were tedious because I wanted to play a minute and a half and actually give him the chance to fairly address it, whether you agree or disagree with him. Yeah. But let's continue.
Wanted to readdress some things, and it was interesting to listen to. It was.
I don't think we should give those type of people any airtime whatsoever.
Yeah,
I think doing that is giving them gas. Fuck.
Don't you have Mark Lamont Hill there, who advocates men competing in women's sports and children being able to transition? That's why I say I won't be told who to platform from people like that. There is nothing out there more radical than the current agenda of the progressive left, even if I disagree with people on the quote-unquote dissident right. Let's continue.
That I struggle with it. I see both sides of it.
Pause. Yeah, but if you go out and it's balmy, 70, and perfectly dry, you struggle, Mark. Everything's a struggle with you. Let's continue.
Putting them on air because there's somebody who's going to watch that and still get something from it, and it will do
as
more
opposed
for
to when
Nick
you're
Fuentes
on
than it will for the enemies of Nick Fuentes. Yeah. But there's also
that's a matter of opinion,
and that's what I'm saying.
that is a matter of opinion.
I think it all comes down to how you engage the person. You know what I mean? You can't normalize the person. I think you got to beat the out of them. And if you don't beat the out of them, then it doesn't work.
I think it's important for black people to go in black spaces and tell people who down and who ain't.
All right,
There's
segregation.
People that have no idea who homeboy is.
I'm all for
I
it.
didn't know very much about him.
The whites had it right.
With
Admit
this
it.
whole political right-wing, upstart, young white people that they're trying to just put in political places, it's important to say, hey, this dude's a racist, no denying it. And that's it.
I agree with that. I just think that sometimes it's like it can backfire and people can take the opinion of, well, he's entitled to believe what he wants to believe. Like that's,
but it's good to see
I
them
hate
he's
hearing
not.
both sides. I don't want to hear his side. I know enough. I've seen him wear a Nazi flag, and I'm cool.
Really? That's open.
Pause, you idiot.
Who's that communist?
Have you seen me with a swastika as YouTube Hitler where I was breastfeeding a baby with my third nipple? Does that make me a Nazi? Dummy. Keep going.
I need to hear you speak again, quite frankly. Like,
or what you could do is not bring him on, but like put his words up and then chop down his words. Like, like play a clip of him and then break down why
edit it.
and play another clip. So that he doesn't get to actually like be on the show, but people can find out why he ain't shit.
So in other words, maintain control so you can paint the caricature you want of anyone. Now, granted, I think that Nick Fuentes has some views that would be considered quite radical. He said that on the show, right? He said he's a reactionary. He owns it. But they want to do this with so if people see it and disagree with it, hey, I think that's to be expected. But you want to be able to do that for everybody. For me, for everyone in this room, see the problem with that? Because you do kind of have to pick a lane. Do you let people voice their opinion, as long as it's within the bounds of the law, no matter how egregious or how offensive, to varying degrees? Or should you be the one to control the perceived opinion among the general populace? That's why people like Mark, and I will say, Piers Morgan, in conducting the interview not in good faith, that's why they're dinosaurs. Let's keep playing.
See, I think that I'm with Parks. Platforming racist, period. We just don't need to do it. But I think that.
So why do you have a show?
What about black racists?
Yeah, no,
because now that gives I was taken out of context. It was this.
That's interesting. That's
They
cool.
don't even think that racist.
Now it'll make somebody want to go and hear you respond to that, or
They have
let
a
me hear you
ginger
address what
on
they
the
just said
show.
about you
They
over there.
can't be
I also think in a world full of people dying to get any attention whatsoever, giving attention to racists, no matter what they're racist against.
Who is this ass?
Someone out there, unfortunately, will see that and be like, "Oh, he's on a fucking thing by saying this crazy shit.
Yep.
Let me say some crazy shit. Get on a thing."
Nice words.
I don't care for it.
That's interesting. Joe,
It's great.
Oh, well, that should
bring to
dictate
it?
policy.
Yeah. What's your line for what kind of person you would bring on a platform? Either this one or
Somebody who agrees with me.
I don't want to bring anybody up here.
Pause.
That's
I
fair.
don't want to bring anybody up here unless they're wearing a plaid cap. Because then we know what they're down with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I see that NY, I don't think of the Yankees. I think of convicts. I mean, I see it does. It has a whole different meaning now.
It's a Rikers hat.
Jay-Z.
All right,
Yeah, right.
play.
Because I know you wouldn't bring on a Nick Fuentes, but I'm like, do you bring on like a Trump surrogate? Do you bring on like if Donald Trump wanted to come on? Would you? No. No. Okay.
Pause. There you go. That's it. I've seen
there you
enough.
go.
I've seen enough. I've seen enough. That's it. There you go. It doesn't matter. And like I've said before, it's not about dreamers. It's not about kids with immigration policy. You won't deport, meaning you, the left, won't deport violent felons who are in our prisons and are here illegally. The rate limiting factor here is you wouldn't have Trump on. Why? Because you've called him a Nazi and a fascist, and then when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, you said, no, we really didn't do that. Yes, you did. And my opinion is, not only would I interview Hitler or Stalin, and God willing, I'd interview them before they became Hitler or Stalin so that people could know about the incoming Hitler or Stalin. I would also interview Trump because, hey, maybe he's been maligned as Hitler. Now, I know that comes with some pros and cons. I think the pros vastly outweigh the cons. And I know I'll be attacked for it no matter what. But I know that you're adult enough to know that Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes were invited on the show. One person showed up. Okay? There you go.
Yeah.
And did anyone leave without knowing the difference of opinion on solutions? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you go back and of course it started with softballs because I wanted to disarm what these people do. You think you're going to win or score points by telling Nick Fuentes that he's a racist? It's a layup. That's a warm-up for him. He knows how to deal with people. What, you think you're going to have a win by saying, aren't you a virgin? I specifically said I wouldn't use something that's a virtue to attack somebody. It's a cheap trick. These people wouldn't have Donald Trump on, so their opinion on Nick Fuentes is irrelevant because they think Donald Trump, yours truly, Nick Fuentes, Candace, Tucker, insert whoever here, David Duke, they wouldn't have any of them on, and they want you to assume that all of us are the same. That's it. That's the end of the conversation. You wouldn't have Trump on. Shut up.
No, exactly. And they actually, one of the things that he said, I want black people to go into black spaces and tell them who the racists are. So that's what he said.
I know.
We kind of skimmed past that. And kind of
Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton.
At the very end. So here's what he wants. He wants to gatekeep the black community.
Yep.
You will listen to who we say you can listen to.
That's
Isn't
right.
this what we've seen before when they used the House N-word for people who came over and supported Donald Trump? And so, well, that's not really a black person. Right. That's not really
Blackface
somebody.
and white supremacy.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
a true progressive.
How is that not entirely one? It's just not. It doesn't do any service to your community at all. It doesn't give people any information. But then when you label every white person on the right as a racist, do you see the problem we have here? You're gonna create more actual racists. It's happening right now. Would you please stop? Would you please stop?
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. Oh, so let's see their solutions. Don't have them on, deplatform. Okay, but they'll say they're pro-free speech. Just take some phrases or paragraphs and talk about them, but don't have them on. So, one-sided pot shot so someone can actually defend their views or provide context. Everything they advocate for is cultural Marxism. And they wouldn't have Trump on for the same reasons. You're still here on YouTube. Remember when we could say whatever we wanted on YouTube and people didn't have to censor out words like gay? See, even that, right? That's not even a swear word. Or the word sex. Even if you're just talking about it, you're not saying anything profane. That's why I live stream on Rumble 5 days a week. Go subscribe over there on Rumble where you get the live show every single day. If you're still using this archaic form of delivery for information on YouTube, I don't want to judge, but your father hates you.